Chapter 8. The Grand Hall was still crowded with ministers and officials waiting for news from the palace. Suddenly Huang Feihu heard the sound of flurried footsteps and saw the panic-stricken princes rushing into the hall. Going forward to meet them, he asked, "What are you so upset about, my good princes? Please save our lives, General Huang." Ying Jiao cried out, and all tears, he clung tightly to Huang Feihu's robes. "My father's performed every sort of terrible deed ever since he placed his trust in Daji. When I saw my mother die from the cruel torture he ordered, I cut Jiang Huan in two and wanted to kill Daji. Chao Tian brought this to my father, and now he's ordered our deaths. I beg you to take pity on my dead mother and save our lives so as to prolong the rule of the Shang dynasty." All the ministers approached the princes in tears. "How can we possibly disregard the unjust death of Her Majesty? We'll strike the bells and beat the drums, and ask to see His Majesty so that we can discover the identity of the real criminal and right the injustice done to Her Majesty," they said in one voice. The kings failed to play his proper role in the kingdom. He's slaughtered his queen and attempted to kill his sons. He's tortured the loyal to death with burning pillars. A voice exploded like thunder at the west end of the hall. "If we're true heroes, we should right the injustice done to the queen and seek revenge for the princes. Yet all we do now is stand around crying like women. As the old saying goes, a good bird chooses a solid tree to roost in. A good minister chooses a good master to serve. The king's recent behavior attests to the fact that he's no longer fit to act as the ruler of this nation, and we should be ashamed to serve him. It would be better for all of us to leave Zhaoge in revolt and select a new ruler to protect our country." Everyone turned to see who dared to speak so recklessly. It was Fang Bi and Fang Xiang, chiefs of guards, in the Grand Hall. Huang Feihu was angry. "How dare you speak like this? There are senior statesmen and supreme ministers here to discuss this matter. There's certainly no need for the likes of you to take part. You should be arrested. Get out of here at once." He swore at them. Fang Bi and Fang Xiang dared not argue with Huang Feihu. They lowered their heads and remained silent. But Huang Feihu had also realized that the dynasty was in trouble. He remained quiet, watching Wei Zi, Ji Bi Gan, and the others sigh and fret and gnash their teeth. None knew what to do. What happened today is just as the Taoist predicted. An ancient saying goes, "An improper ruler will have corrupt ministers." The kings unjustly cut off the head of Grand Tutor Du Yunxian, cruelly killed Supreme Minister Mei Bo with the burning pillar, tortured his queen to death, and ordered the execution of his two sons. This is bound to bring smiles on the faces of the wicked among us. It is a pity that the Shang dynasty will fall to ruin and we'll all be prisoners before long. Supreme Minister Yang Ren said. "You're right, Supreme Minister." Huang Feihu agreed. The rest of the officials kept silent while the two princes swept bitterly. Fang Bi and Fang Xiang forced their way through the crowd. King Zhou's a wicked tyrant. In ordering his son's execution, he's trying to sever his own ancestral line, and in killing his wife, he's violated the ethical code. We'll escort the two princes to East Lu, and raise an army to uproot him. This is a rebellion. They cried out. Fang Bi picked up Ying Jiao and Fang Xiang Ying Hong, and with the princes on their backs, they left the capital through the south gate. Fortunately, they were both strong, for they had to fight their way through numerous officials who tried to stop them. All the ministers were astonished at what was taking place except Huang Feihu, who remained entirely unmoved. Vice Prime Minister Bi Gan approached him. "Why do you remain in complete silence while this rebellion is taking place?" he asked Huang Feihu. "It is truly a pity that among so many ministers, none are as loyal as they. They may be vulgar and uncivilized, but they cannot bear to see the queen die unjustly, and to see the princes die for no reason. They must have realized that they were so low in rank that they couldn't possibly deliver admonitions directly to the king, so they chose to carry away the two princes. They risk their lives doing this, for they know that they'll probably die if the king sends men after them on horseback. They were acting exclusively out of conscience and loyalty. Huang Feihu explained with a sigh. At this moment, hurried footsteps were heard at the back of the court, and Chao Tian and Chao Lei entered carrying the king's sword. "Ministers," they cried out. "Have any of you seen the princes here?" Huang Feihu told the Chao brothers what had happened and urged them to chase after the four of them. But this was a terrifying thought to the Chao brothers, for they knew that Fang Bi was 36 feet tall and Fang Xiang 34, and that they were not to be trifled with. They also knew that Huang Feihu was deliberately putting them in a difficult position. They returned to the Fairy Longevity Palace and reported what they had learned to King Zhou. The king was greatly enraged. "Go and arrest the Fang brothers and the two princes and put them all to death without further delay," he bellowed. "Fang Bi is very strong and brave. I'm afraid that we can never capture him. Only Prince Huang Feihu can carry out your request," Chao Tian suggested. When the order was issued, Huang Feihu smiled. "I'm well aware that it is Chao Tian who's placed this burden on my shoulders." He took the king's sword and left the palace. Generals Huang Ming, Zhou Ji, Long Huan, and Wu Yan came forward and offered to go with him, but he replied, "You needn't come with me. I can manage on my own." He mounted his divine rainbow ox, which could cover 800 li in one day, and rode off at high speed. Carrying the young princes on their backs, Fang Bi and Fang Xiang could only walk 30 li a day. While they were discussing what route to take, they noticed Huang Feihu rushing towards them on his rainbow ox. Trembling in fright, they cried to the two princes, "We've acted much too impulsively. Now that death is staring us in the face, what shall we do? How can you say things like that? You've saved our lives." The two princes replied in wonder, "Look, Marshal Huang's come to take us back. We're sure to be executed," Fang Bi said. When Huang Feihu arrived before them, the two young princes knelt down on the road. "Marshal Huang, do you come to bring us back?" Huang Feihu immediately threw himself down on the ground. "I should die for what I've done. Your Highnesses, please stand up," he begged. "What are you going to do with us, Marshal?" Ying Jiao asked. "By His Majesty's order, I came here with the royal sword for you two princes to take your lives at once. I myself daren't commit such a crime, but I've got no choice but to obey the king. I beg you to take your own lives quickly." Ying Jiao was on his knees again. "You know we have been grievously wronged. My mother was killed after being cruelly tortured, and if we die, there will be no one left in our family. Please have pity on us and give us a chance to live. Your generosity will never be forgotten," he implored. Huang Feihu remained on his knees. "I know quite well that you both are the victims of injustice. But the king's order gives me no choice. If I set you free, I'll have committed the crime of deceiving him, and should I not set you free, I'll commit the sin of going against my conscience." Ying Jiao realized that he and his brother had little chance of escaping doom. "Marshal Huang, you're certainly right to follow the king's order, but I beg your leniency and help us in another way." He decided to appeal to Huang Feihu's kind heart. "What's that?" "Please tell me, Your Highness. You may cut off my head and take it to the king, but take pity on my younger brother. Set him free and allow him to flee elsewhere. When he grows up, he'll lead a big army and seek revenge for the injustice perpetrated on our innocent mother." At this, Ying Hong came forward and interrupted his brother. "Marshal Huang, this is all wrong. He is the crown prince. And I'm young and have no talents. You should cut off my head and take it to the king. If you let him go to East Lu or West Qi and seek revenge for the death of my innocent mother and myself, I won't regret dying now," he begged. Ying Jiao put his arms around his brother and cried bitterly. "How could I bear to see my younger brother meet such a cruel death? The two brothers each argued that the other should live. Observing the Huang Feihu was moved by the princes and by the devotion the Fang brothers showed to the princes. Tears welled up in his eyes. Fang Bi. Fang Xiang. Stop your weeping. Princes, worry no more. I've got an idea. He told them. But it must remain a secret among the five of us, for the slightest leak will spell death for every member of my family. Fang Bi, you escort the princes to East Lu, to their grandfather, Jiang Huanchu. Fang Xiang, you go and see a Chengyu, and tell him that I've released the princes and that he should join with Jiang Huanchu in an attack on Zhaoge from two different directions. We must remove traitors from the palace and right the wrong done to Queen Jiang. Since we left the palace this morning in a great hurry, we brought no funds with us. How shall we make the journey? Fang Bi asked. After thinking it over, Huang Feihu said, Though I've got no money in my pocket, I'll give you my jade pendant inlaid with gold. You may easily exchange it for 100 taels of silver to cover the expenses of your journey. Take good care of yourselves. Huang Feihu returned to Zhaoge at dusk and saw that all the ministers had gathered before the palace gate. He dismounted from his rainbow ox and met Bi Gan. How did it go, Marshal Huang? Bi Gan asked. I couldn't overtake them and had to return. Huang Feihu told him. All the officials were delighted. He then entered the court to see King Zhou.